In this demo, we will see how we can leverage the SQL tool to create custom select queries. Inside vODC Studio, we have here an app already created and a server action, where we will add our SQL tool. If we look at the Data tab, we have already some entities created. The product entity is the one we will be using. So let's get started. To write our own SQL, we first need to add the SQL tool to a flow. Double-click it to open the SQL editor. Let's start with something simple, and select all attributes and records from the product entity. Before testing the query, we need to add the output entity that matches the select clause. Right-click the output entities or structures folder and select the entity we want, in this case the product entity. It is now time to test our select query. In the Test Output tab we can see the records retrieved. Let's now create a structure that will then be used as the output of the SQL query. To create a structure, inside the Data tab locate the Structures folder. Right-click the Structures folder and select Add Structure. We'll name it Product Info. And create the name attribute. And another for the price. Previously, we've set the output of the SQL to be the product entity, which was not very efficient since we are fetching all attributes. Let's select and delete it. And now use the structure we've created. The final step is to adapt the SQL query to fetch only the desired attributes. We'll adjust the select clause to fetch only the attributes we want. To wrap up this demo, let's add a query parameter. Right-click and select Add Query Parameter. This will be used to filter the records by the minimum price. And now add the where clause to our SQL query to fetch the products that have the price bigger than the value in the query parameter. Since now we have a query parameter, before we actually test the query, we need to set its value in the Test Inputs tab. Finally, we are ready to test the query. As we can see, we now have fewer results, and all with a price above 5 as we expected. As we can see, we have a true change error in our app. The error is not related to the SQL query itself. It is because we are not defining the runtime value for the query parameter. Here you use an expression based on variables, or simply enter a value directly. This is the actual value that will be used during runtime when the query is executed. The value defined previously in the Test Inputs tab was for test purposes only, and has no effect at runtime.